On June 18th. Me and my wife, because we're from Marshall, Texas. We took our kids to the airport to fly out to California because they were going to spend the summer with my brother. We take them to the airport that Thursday. My wife has to go to work that Friday. So after work, we decided to go out. This is the 18th. So we head to Bossier City, boardwalk. We walked around the boardwalk. We were at the boardwalk probably good 2 hours. We walked around. We decided to find somewhere to eat. We decided to stop eating at Hooters. We stopped eating at Hooters. We have a drink and a meal, a piece, me and the wife. Once we finished our meal, we left Hooters. We were headed to our vehicle, which was parked by the handicap parking area at Bossier City Boardwalk. As we were walking to the vehicle, we noticed an officer on a scooter, a two-wheeler scooter. So as we're walking, I'm coming to my wife, look at the cops, they got a little scooter, making easy money. We get to our vehicle, my wife and I, open the passenger door up to my wife, let her in the vehicle, close the door, and I have an officer standing directly in front of me now. So the officer asked me, excuse me, because right now I'm doing community service.
Mm-hmm.
But the officer asked me, what did I say? And I told him I had just come in on a scooter, and I know he's not upset about it. And as I'm saying this, we're walking around to the driver's side. So the officer was like, okay, well, you need to leave. So as I open my driver door to get in the vehicle, the officer shuts my driver door. He shuts my door, and then he asks me, have you been drinking? Before I could even answer and tell him, he's had a drink, he says, I take that as a yes. So he asked for my license. I give him my identification. From there, he goes, well, you're under arrest. Well, actually, I turned around and lit up a cigarette. And then he goes, well, you can put the cigarette out. And I'm like, why? He said, well, you're under arrest. And I'm like, for what? And then he goes to grab my hand and tells me none of my business. So I put my hand away. Like, no, that's not a valid reason to arrest nobody. So then he calls on his radio for backup. And then he goes, well, you're under arrest for public intoxication. Now, before I can even say what, like I said, we only had one drink over a meal. Before I can even say what, the officer just hauls off and punches me dead in the mouth. He punches me one time in the mouth, sort of surprised me because I'm thinking to myself, wow, I have an officer, hitting on me. So then he swings the second time and hits me in the face again. So I'm thinking in my mind, okay, now I'm being assaulted. So he goes to swing the third time, and I dodged it. He swings the fourth time, and I punched the officer in his face. He comes to swing at me again a fifth time. I hit the officer again in the face. He said it to like the back of my car, I grabbed him by the back of his, well, not the back of his vest, but I grabbed him on the shoulder of his vest, because now I'm trying to restrain him. Like, I'm a 70% disabled vet. I have severe asthma, back problems, vision problems, depression, and I'm trying to explain this to the officer I'm a disabled veteran. He tells me he doesn't care. But he doesn't say it in those words. He tells me he doesn't give a shit. So the officer, like I said, I grabbed him by the shirt. Next thing I know, officers jump on my back. When they jump on my back, they help me drag the officer down on the ground because I have his vest in my hand. So they drag me on the ground. One officer puts my left hand, ready to get handcuffed. Another officer, he comes, grabs my arm, puts it in supposedly an arm bar, but he's trying to break it. Instead of putting it back, because I've taken restraint training, being a foreman in the Navy, instead of trying to restrain it and put it, in the handcuff, he's trying to break it. So I'm looking at the officer and I'm telling him, you're going to break my arm in front of all these people. At that time, he just started shooting me, just punching me in the face, and shooting me, just punching me. So he finally stopped punching me. They put me in the handcuffs, and officer runs up on me and then pepper sprays me. Okay, he pepper sprays me, and the other officer jumps on my chest, and I'm explaining to this officer, because we're at the front of my car. You look at my license plate and show you I'm a disabled veteran. You can't sit on my chest. I have severe asthma. You can't sit on my chest like this. He told me he didn't care. They finally get me up off the ground. They put me on the back of a low golf cart, take me down to some underground parking garage, shed thing. Once they take me there, Sergeant immediately runs up on me, grabs me, throws me in a chair, sticks his thumb in my throat, so he basically shut the fuck up. That's exactly his exact words. So we go through that. He does that. The same night I didn't spray, so now I'm spitting. I can't spit anywhere near the officer, so I'm spitting in the back of the room. You know, I'm in a little shed. So I ask for medical attention. They ring the fire department. The fire department looks at me, tells me I need to see a doctor, which I knew that. I told the fire department, yes, I agree, and I do need to see a physician. But he said it was up to the police department to take me. They refused to take me. From there, they tell me to get in the police car. They open up the police car. I go to try to step a foot in the police car. An officer comes from my right side and rams me into the police car. After he rams me into the police car, another officer comes right out the head with a spit mask, puts it over my head. Once he puts it over my head, he gets to my neck area. He started choking me with the spit mask.
Now, let me just back up a minute. So these are all officers from the Bossier City Police Department?
Yes, some of them I believe were marshals.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they all were officers. I want to say some was marshals, and it may have been security there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for me to say because even, you know, I'm confrontation with this one officer, and next thing I know, other officers on my back. I didn't really see any faces.
Mm-hmm.
Or any names, any jerseys, any uniforms, any badges. I didn't see anything. So they're all on my back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from this day, all I know is up to one officer, from what I understand, it was probably 4, 5, 6 officers there.
Okay, let me ask you a few questions.
Yes.
When the officer, and can you hear me okay right now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. When the officer approached you on the scooter, that was the same officer that you commented about as you passed out of the restaurant?
Wait, excuse me?
Was the officer who approached you later on the scooter, was he the same one you saw when you were leaving the restaurant with your wife?
Yes, actually, when we left the restaurant, that was when we seen him. He wasn't there when we came.
Okay.
He was there when we were leaving.
All right, so then
we're walking by him.
Okay, so then after you commented, he then got in front of your car.
No, after I commented, like I said, I put my wife in the car, in the passenger seat. I opened the door, put her in, and as I closed the door and turned around, the officer was at my back door, my passenger back door.
Okay. And as far as you know, up until that point, you had not committed any crime.
Not at all, sir. Not at all.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. You went to a restaurant. What was the name of the restaurant?
We went to Hooters and had our meal. And I still have the receipt showing we had one drink apiece and we had a meal.
Okay. That receipt is very important. I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Were there any witnesses that saw this incident that might be favorable to your case?
Okay, now, this is where everything just got tricky. Okay, they banned me from the boardwalk, so I'm not allowed to go up there. There's one possible witness, which I believe is the one from IHOP. I believe he's the manager at IHOP who works evening shift. I went up there to speak with the gentleman. I got arrested for trying to speak to the gentleman.
You mean the police saw you there and then arrested you for trying to talk to him?
Yes. This was just, this happened this Thursday night.
Okay, let me stop you there because we're running a little short on time. We try to keep the interviews to about 10 minutes. Let me just tell you that, in my opinion, you have a valid complaint. This complaint should be filed not only with the police department, but the U.S. Justice Department and a number of state agencies. I believe that you were subjected to excessive force, unprofessional conduct, and a range of other